go ahead and do a 2-minute wrap up from our breakout group leaders. So if I could have either Sarah or Shelly come on the mic and video and tell us how today went for you in your breakout groups and maybe give a preview of tomorrow.
Yeah, Sarah, did you want to do it or you want me to go ahead?
No, go for it.
Okay. So we've had some really great conversations about how to put together some stories. We started talking about what makes a good story, what information would be the minimum amount that we would need in order to get our points across. And then we talked about what types of tools were available to do either low cost or free storytelling on the web. So we've been actually exploring some new tools that were introduced to us by somebody in our group, and it looks like a pretty slick tool. So we're just starting to fill out some stories to put online, and we should be working on those tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be following up with some of the stories that we've started and perhaps adding some more. With the thought that this will go forward into time as people want to add their stories to the centralized web location. So we're looking forward to that, and we welcome anybody to join us tomorrow. Thanks, Corey.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shelly and Sarah. I've gotten a little bit of feedback from people that have been in the main room about that group, and they're super pumped about it. So I'm excited to see what you all come up with tomorrow. May I have either Tony or Walter come on and talk about the machine learning group?
Happy to do so. Awesome. You can also call me Julian. I answer to the name Julian Fulton as well. But those who know me call me Tony Hale. And Walter and I were presenting on the artificial intelligence, which had a really good complement to the Google to the Street View presentation that they led us through just after lunch. So for today's work group breakout, we began by talking about just kind of what's the value proposition for the use of artificial intelligence. And most people don't need to be sold on that. It's not too difficult to sell people on that. But we went through that. We also actually gave a quick overview of the different types of artificial intelligence, ranging from computer vision to different machine learning, natural language processing, decision tree-based artificial intelligence. So there's a lot that goes into that. And we led them through an example project, so SFEI and its focus on tobacco product waste, cigarette butt detection, and the algorithms that we've created, showing some results there, which led into some of the work that Walter has led through a OBTA pilot study that he's done in collaboration with others, including with Second Nature and BASMA. And so showing those presentations and results from the different kind of parallel efforts to lead OBTA automation. That has, of course, a close correlation to what Google Street View is doing. So that was really interesting to see. Then we wrapped up the day by pivoting to a number of different kind of coding-based collaborative notebooks focused on data analysis, data visualization, machine learning, and computer vision. So we have a kind of big library of different collaborative notebooks, and what we anticipate is that our work group will go forth, be merry, and kind of recruit a number of others to join the efforts in performing these types of analyses, detection, leading the tuning of detection algorithms, things of this nature. So we end today on a high note. We won't be continuing tomorrow, so we really wanted to make sure that we could do something big.
That's awesome, Tony. As far as, people collaborating or being able to use those tools sooner, are those going to be posted somewhere or emailed out?
I think the best thing we can do is to I'll right now share a link to our presentation, which
Okay.
it is a good jumping off point. It has a number of different links embedded within it. So if you take a look at this, you'll see our presentation, and I'll be here for at least part of the day tomorrow. So if you have questions, hit me up, but Walter's email, I'll share that in chat as well. So if you have questions, Walter really was driving most of the details there. So you can hit up Walter with any questions.
Cool. Thank you so much, Tony.
Thank you.
And then I'll have someone from our track 2 group come forward and summarize the day.
I can do that. I love how there's 3 Julian Fultons. There were 4, I think, or maybe even more, 5.
I renamed Tony in the middle of his speaking, so I kind of took that away from him.
At least I can unmute myself now. I couldn't before.
Welcome,
Real Julian Fulton.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
So
still not convinced which is the real Julian Fulton. I mean, I'm questioning everything at this point. I'm not sure who the real Corey is.
It's a deep fake. It's a deep fake, Julian.
It's all deep fake. Maybe Walter did this. He's not around right now. That's suspicious.
I saw Walter practicing Julian's mannerisms and affectations when he spoke. It's a deep fake.
Yeah, our group had a lot of diversity in it in terms of different stakeholders. We had academics, educators, nonprofit groups. We had regulators, regulatees. We had some really frank discussions about how data, should be shared, how data should be collected for the Track 2 trash amendments, how it should be reported. We touched on, there's a lot that I could get into right now, but I just want to say that I walked away from this having a much clearer understanding of what the Track 2 trash amendments, how they're currently collecting data for that. So that's really exciting. We'll be sharing a summarized report on the main learnings from that. We also so our main product for today was a data flow model, which somehow I actually guessed pretty close to it being right.
Awesome.
I don't know how that happened, but it was relatively pretty good. I could share it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I can't. This will stop other screen sharing.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, here's our data flow model. This is how data is being, so kind of more or less, it's not exactly how data is being moving around in Track 2 trash assessments, but basically somebody's collecting data, they're handing it off to a database manager, or these might be the same people, we found out too. And then that goes off to a data analyst who will eventually, it seems like right now nobody's submitting data to regulators, but eventually that will end up happening. A lot of people are thinking right now about how we're going to actually apply all this data that we have, because people have some really rich data. And so hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to report more on some of the major learnings that people have had. Let's see. Also, we realized the online visual trash assessment is one of the main data sets that's being collected right now for the Track 2 trash assessments. But that's not the only thing. There's a lot of other data sets that people are looking into, thinking about how they can incorporate into their management schemes. So yeah, really exciting. And tomorrow we are hoping to dive into a couple of data sets that people have shared and actually try to see what are the similarities between the data sets, what are the differences, how can they be used together to answer questions more broadly. So yeah,
That's so cool. Seems like it's been a useful group, and I also had people pop in trying to get to Track 2 trash amendment group, and they were like, oh yeah, this has been like, there's been a lot of awesome connections and chat going on in that group in particular. So that sounds like a really active group, and I'm excited to see what you all come up with tomorrow too.
Thanks.
Yeah. So just very briefly, as we wrap up today, I did have a poll. I swear I did, and now it has gone. So unfortunately, I don't have a poll for you all to take. But if you want to leave your feedback about today in the chat, or if you want to email me, I would love to get your feedback. Just like even if you want to do a reaction, like thumbs up, thumbs down, anything like that, that would be awesome to see. So just basically wanted to remind you all of what's going on tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, we're going to have a talk from Michelle Alexander, who's heading up the Stormwater Public Education Campaign from Caltrans. And we're going to continue workshopping in these trash data topics in these breakout groups. So like Tony said, we're not going to have a machine learning group, but we'll still have remote ecosystem as well as the track 2 trash group. So come back to participate in either or both of those groups. And then for our last session, to kind of wrap up the event, we'll talk about what we learned and where we go from here. So yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow at 9:30. Feel free to stick around if you have questions. Otherwise, you all are free to spend the rest of your day. I'm ending a minute early. I'm proud of myself. That's awesome. All right. Thank you all so much.